This good morning, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Just coming to you live. First time in the group live, I think. First or second time. But anyways, don't mind my hat. I'm just wearing a hat because my hair is a mess. I need to get a haircut. But yeah, I was just sitting here getting a break, and I thought to myself, I should just give you like a little nugget because my brain spins around a lot. And yeah, I was just welcome guys. So I was just thinking, like, because I've been trading for a very, very, very long time. Well, not that long, but over a decade now. And I've been coaching for a long time as well. So one thing I've noticed in, the forex industry is always evolving, but one thing remains the same, right? And that's human beings. Individuals never really change. We have the same emotions, the same propensities. We make the same mistakes, and sometimes we make them over and over and over again. And that's something I've seen is also pertinent to, like, when it comes to traders and myself as well. And this comes in the form of traders making mistakes. Like, I've coached dozens and dozens of people. And there's about 5 or 6 things that people like. 5 or 6 mistakes that traders fall into. Hi Steve, hi Lynn. Thanks for coming on. And it just boils down to just habits, right? I believe that's what it is. People making the same mistakes over and over again, knowing fully well what the mistakes are, but they keep doing it almost down to the exact same minute of the day. Like, you think about it, like, what are some bad habits that you want to fix? Like, for me, for instance, I have a bad habit of just being too much of my phone. And perhaps this is not good because I'm on my phone right now, but I think this is a good cause. Me using Facebook. I've been trying to quit Facebook and online YouTube and Instagram, all this kind of TikTok, for a really long time, and I know exactly what it is that I'm trying to quit, but for some reason it's really, really difficult. And it's the same when it comes to trading. Like, traders, they come into the market, they start trading, they don't form good habits, or rather they implement bad habits, and then they keep doing these habits over and over and over and over again, for years and years and years and years on end, in the form of learning. But the only thing they're learning are the bad habits, because that's all they keep repeating. So I'm a big proponent of someone, before you get into the foreign exchange industry, make sure you're learning the right things from the right person. Or just learn the right things, or at least avoid learning the wrong things, because it's so hard to unlearn habits and implement new ones. If you're trying to unlearn the way you trade and learn a new way of trading, it's much harder. It's much harder to unlearn something than to learn new things, right? So, say for instance, I say a smoker, for instance, who's trying to quit. They know they're trying to quit. The doctor's giving you a diagnosis. You got lung cancer now. But now you want to smoke even more, or you're overweight, and you got whatever disease you have, and the doctor is like, okay, now you have like 6 months to live because you're overweight. But that makes you want to eat even more because it's a coping mechanism. That's how you've learned to get rid of your negative emotions. And trading is the same, right? So I'm coaching someone, and I say, well, when this happens, take the trade. And that thing happens, and they don't take the trade, and I'm on an accountability call with them, and I said, what happened? They're like, well, I was gonna take it, but then something happened. My dog bit my dog. My cat swallowed my puppy. Oh, I just missed it. I just didn't get there in time. I fell asleep. Oh, I was just scared. I didn't feel like it was good. I didn't feel like it was a good enough trade. But I just told you it was a good enough trade. That's why I'm here. That's why you paid me to show you the right trades, right? So why didn't you take it? So it boils down to the main ones, like fear, greed, blah 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 blah, all of them. And the more you give into these emotions, the harder it is to avoid it next time. So we all remember the first time we had first time I had a cigarette, it was terrible. I'm not. That's a bad one. But perhaps you're a smoker. First time you had a cigarette, you probably didn't like it, right? But then the more you did it, the easier it becomes. I remember this I don't know if any of you watch Friends, but Chandler was trying to quit, and I think he gave a cigarette to Monica or something, and Monica was like, oh, it's terrible. And he was like, yeah, but if you keep going, it's about to become really, really good. It's something bad for you, but you get used to it, even if it's bad for you. So I guess the point I'm trying to make there is, as much as you want to learn to trade, you're doing trial and error, you're doing things. Most likely what you're doing is that you're spinning your wheels and you're creating this cue action reward pattern where you see a trade you're supposed to take, you feel bad because you feel fear that if you take it you would lose money. For instance, let's say fear, let's tackle fear. The cue is I feel bad, and then the action, instead of taking the trade, is you giving an excuse like, oh, it doesn't look good enough. And then the reward is maybe a little release of dopamine or reduction of cortisol. Now, I'm not going to get too technical here about dopamine and all that kind of stuff, but essentially, the more you do something, the more it's reinforced, the more you want to do it. So even though you knew that if you took that trade, you might have made money, human beings would do more to avoid pain than to move towards pleasure. So even though you know you make money, you don't want to feel bad for losing the trade and losing some money, right? So you don't take it in the first place. So you just kind of sit where you are, because even though where you are is terrible, the fear of the unknown about you might even be more afraid of making money than you are of being broke right now. And it's crazy. And that cue response and reward that loop just keeps going over and over again. Or you get into a trade and then it goes against you, and then there's a little spike in cortisol, you get a bit stressed, you're like, oh, I'm in a trade that could make me money, but I feel stressed right now, so how can I get rid of it? So the only way you can do that is to perhaps close the trade or move your stop loss. There's a little release of dopamine when you think about moving your stop loss, and then you do it. Now you feel that stress is like, it just goes away. Even though you know you're ruining your chances of becoming a successful trader. And then it moves more against you, and then you just keep moving your stop loss. You can keep losing money until eventually, boom, it blows up in your face. So it makes you feel good right now, but then it blows up in your face later. So how do you fix this? Because it happens to all of us, and everyone is addicted to something. I don't care if it's like going to the gym or walking your dog or running. Some people get runner's high. It's an addiction. It's a good one. It's better than fucking burgers and chips, but it's a good one. The more you do something, the more you want to do something. So how do you do this? It's just, for me personally, what I do is, because I still feel those feelings, it never goes away. I'm human. I still have emotions, right? But the less you listen to it, the less your brain, the less that cue is, the less that cue reward, action reward section in your brain is activated, the less potent, the less loud that voice becomes. That makes sense, right? So all I can say is just use the principle of letting go and surrendering. Understand that your thoughts and your feelings are not you, and these things will never go away. And just because you feel bad doesn't mean something bad is happening, right? So you can feel something, right? Like for me, for instance, when I fixed this, all I did was I would see a trade. My problem was just pulling the trigger. So yours might be greed. Your target is hit, and you just don't want to get out of the trade. You just want to keep going because you want to make more. You want to make more, and then eventually it turns around and then stops you out, right? So mine was just pulling the trigger. So that what would happen is I would see a trade. It ticks every box. But I'd almost be looking for a reason not to get in, because I know I'm right, the trade looks good, I've done the analysis, but I don't want to lose money. It's like I don't want to lose money more than I want to make money. So when that happens, all I do is just like to sit back and watch that emotion, feel it in your chest. Usually it's right here or somewhere, you know where it is, and it's the same one over and over again. There's usually like 5 different emotions. You feel it in your chest, you see it, you hold it. After about 20 seconds, it goes away. And then it comes back again. So that's the process of getting rid of it. It comes back again, you feel it, you let it go. It goes away. You don't justify it. You don't try to give it reasons why it's true, because it's not true. It's bullshit and you know it. But people just like, oh yeah, it's a bad trade, so I'm not going to get in. No, you know it's a good trade. You watch the bullshit that you come up with in your head. And you're like, that's it. Okay, princess, just watch it. and you just sit there. You know, you're stressing, cortisol is spiking, and you just sit there and you watch it. You get into the trade, you watch it, you watch it, and it just kind of goes away. And the more you do this over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, your brain is like, well, I guess this doesn't work anymore. Let's find something else to do, right? So I don't know if any of this makes sense, but not the most articulate today. Haven't had breakfast yet, but you know, I've just seen this way too many times now, and it kind of relates to other parts of life, I guess. Because I also struggle with my own addiction, TikTok, just social media. And I know everyone has their own challenges as well. Yours might be trading or might be something else, but you can apply this to anything. You can apply it to smoking, drugs, alcohol, sex, YouTube, whatever. Feel that feeling in your chest and just let it go, people. It's really not that deep. Trading is not that hard. We just make it hard on ourselves, right? Anyway, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna go get a haircut because my hair looks like shit, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.